All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm having a little trouble with my computer or somebody doing, but we want to talk about the Charlie Kurtz thing. Now, I want to bring up, is it possible that much like the Delphi case, where we had other people using the same account and possibly knew that the girls were going to be there that day, do we also have a similar thing here with Charlie Kurt's case, where Tyler might, we don't know, being he said things before the murders, was possibly his account hacked? Or were there other Tyler Robinson's accounts, alt accounts, ghost accounts, whatever it may be, that other people were using, or him being hacked and they knew he was going to be there that day and was talking about it, therefore they acted? Was it the government that seen an opportunity in Tyler Robinson to do what they wanted to do and put the blame on him? Well, it's possible. We've seen that in the Delphi case. There was people talking about that. That there was simulations that where someone knew, we didn't know at first, but once Keegan Klein got busted and we found out there was over 200 and something accounts that were being used, that were all fake accounts using that one dude model's photo. Well, is it possible the same thing happened here? Maybe. I'm not going to rule it out. I'm not going to rule out that somebody was watching Discord and seen his messages and seen an opportunity. Maybe it was the government tracking them and they just couldn't put two and two together. Maybe it was some kind of a crazy cult recruiting thing to do crazy stuff. I don't know. I can tell you this much: we won't take it off of the table. It's possible. I would say it's very possible. You might want to look into also MK Ultra or whatever they call it. Yeah, possibly. Anything is possible. And if you need the proof, look up other cases where, look at the Delphi case. There were so many accounts that were fake accounts that, I don't know how many Keegan Klein opened, but he did have other accounts that he was giving out to people that they all would have been able to see what was going on. And then took that opportunity to kill the girls or whatever. Enter Richard Allen and the other ones. Yeah, maybe. Oh, look at the Lord sent us another squirrel. Excuse me. Hey, little bugger. Do I have any peanuts left? Oh, here he comes. Oh, he's right outside my door now. Little bugger. But we have to take that in consideration. I'm not taking it off. When people say, well, you might be hacked, I'm like, oh, yeah, it's possible. I'm not going to lie to people. Yeah, it's very possible. These people are geniuses on computers. They can make it look like you're typing in bad comments. Yeah. You're trying to type, but it won't let you type, but someone else is typing in chat. Yeah, that's how good they are. They hack, they take over the account, that your computer, whatever. They see everything you do, everything you want, and they take advantage of that. And then they try and either use it to blackmail you or set people up. Oh, yeah, Yeah, it's a bigger problem than people realize. They want us to think it's not. There's no way you could do that, but you can. All right, so take that in consideration. Was Tyler Robinson being hacked, and people knew? Was he not being hacked? It's just people on Discord seen his messages or whatever that he was putting out, and they took an opportunity and took it, and he was the fall guy. Right? It wasn't going to work if he didn't show up. Well, that's possible. And they might have had it set up that way. If this guy don't show up, it's a no-go. But if he does show up, well, then go ahead and do it. We might have people looking. That's possible. All right, so keep that in mind, folks. I will be back. Anything's possible. I wouldn't take it off the table. On this channel, we keep an open mind. Anything is possible. As Gray Hughes said last night, it was the chupacabra. I believe it. There's new evidence that just came out on YouTube of chupacabra. So I would believe it. It's possible. I don't know if it's AI or not, but I've seen the footage. So he says chupacabra. If there's evidence and hair there that matches a chupacabra, then that's your shooter. So, yeah, anything's possible. I will be back here shortly. God bless y'all. Have a great day. And it looks like we got some more clouds moving in all of a sudden. We did have some good sunshine, but. Yo, Debbie, did you listen to Elon? No, I didn't listen to Elon. Send me the bit. Did you send me the video? Hold on a minute. Is it the one, Debbie, with Elon's face on it? All right, hold on. Let me pull it up. Is that the one you're talking, woman? Yeah, I see it. I see it. I see it. I'll watch it here in a minute. I just wanted to do a video on this to put it out that taking consideration the Delphi case and other cases, Gabby Petito case, where the killer had the phone and was communicating with her family and they all thought it was her. You have to take this on all consideration. Now, a lot of people say, well, you know, what are you talking about? Well, watch them cases. Watch the Delphi case, right? We thought there was one fake Anthony Shots account, and it ended up to be 200. You know? And they all knew, and the one guy was selling them accounts to other people or giving them to other people that they were using. So they were able to see whatever Anthony Shots was seeing, supposedly. So maybe. It is very interesting. I am starting to believe other stuff is going on. Yeah, somebody's doing something to me today. Some of that voodoo stuff or something, witchery or something today. I was feeling it. It's pretty crazy. Probably Ernie or somebody or witches. I heard he's got a whole harem over there, vampire witches. That's what I heard. They only come out there in the night, or unless they got to go to court, then they come out there in the day. Very rare, though. One is clearly seen. Yeah. Elon said there's reports of other people on roofs and everything. Well, there might be. We don't know. You know? And that's the problem with AI and conspiracies and coups is we don't know what to believe. And that's why certain technology shouldn't have been put out. Right? We should have a program for us movie creators but that program should have a stamp on it or some kind of a tracking that it tells you this is made up movie stuff, right? A CGI scene. Then we would be able to tell who's making fake videos and who ain't. Debbie says it's not our shooter. Professional sniper. It could be. Now, people are saying they see a drone there, but I went back and looked at the footage, and the way the drone moves and where it goes, it circles up. What is it? It looks like a bird because it goes back into a tree. So I think what they caught was a bird. I know people wanted it to be Bigfoot riding Gamera. That took the shot, but you slow it down, and if you zoom in good enough, you can see it's a bird. Because it takes off, it flies up, it does a loop, and comes back down and lands on the tree, or goes into the tree. There's like 4 or 5 trees in that area. But you really shouldn't watch. Listen to Elon for a minute, but you probably won't. No, I'm way past Elon. That's what Elon's so pissed because I'm further than him. Higher up, Clarence. I'm watching it now, Debbie. And that's AI. Listen to Elon. That is not Elon. I'm listening to it, Debbie. Are you watching that while you are live? Yeah, I'm watching it right now. You want to see it?
This analysis, I need to give credit where credit is due. This theory and the forensic breakdown we're about to discuss was meticulously analyzed by Rangeday Bro, a gentleman who took the time to examine this evidence frame by frame with a friend and is working to spread this crucial information. If you want to see the actual video analysis we'll be discussing, I highly recommend checking out his video.
Yeah,
I'll leave the link at the top of the description so you can check it out after this breakdown. He deserves all the credit for this groundbreaking work, and it needs to be spread with the world.
Yeah, but see, here's the problem, Elon. The first day it happened and we got the footage, this channel said that we were looking at cameras. And if I remember correctly, my own mod said, "Are you crazy?" No, we were looking at cameras behind him and to the side. Yeah. So, your boy that you want us to go look at, we were like 3 days ahead of him on this channel. I'm really sorry, I know it hurts that an idiot was faster than the average idiot, but don't be mad. Let's continue to watch.
In this video, I will simply share my insights and my opinion based on what he has discovered and what we know so far.
Yes.
For those who might need a refresher, let me walk you through what we were told happened. The FBI and government agencies painted a very specific picture. Charlie Kirk was allegedly shot from the front during what appeared to be a public event. They arrested someone named Tyler Robinson, positioned him as the lone gunman, and within hours, the narrative was set in stone. The media ran with it. The case seemed closed, assuming justice was being served. But here's where it gets concerning. That official story spread faster than wildfire through every major news outlet. Within days, we had a complete narrative package. The shooter, the motive, the method, the location, everything tied up in a neat little bow.
Well, you're right, Elon, but for some, on this channel, we kept an open mind. And we spotted 4 people with weapons. We also spotted people that possibly were throwing calls, whether it was to their own team within the crowd, whether they were signaling to the guards or to the people that worked for Charlie in the crowd that they had a shooter on the roof. Maybe one of them guys, Elon, that was standing behind Charlie, seen the shooter on the roof, and started throwing calls to alert the security team that they had a shooter. Now, whether that's true or not, Elon, but I cover everything here. And that's a very well possibly, that's why we seen calls being thrown from behind Charlie, is because the security team noticed something not right, or, as I said before on this channel, that they seen the shooter and was not fast enough. Why? Because they didn't have enough manpower to get on that roof or to locate him. No, we could have handled this if we would have had probably drones, a couple of drones flying around. One guy controlling 2 drones. We might have been able to see him. And a drone can be used as a weapon. I don't care what these people say. If we had to, we would have flew the drone right into the guy at probably 100 miles an hour. It would have been like throwing a brick at him. Now let's continue.
Now, having spent some time in industries where information moves fast, I can tell you that when a complex story gets packaged that quickly, especially one involving a high-profile political figure, it usually means someone was ready with that story before the events.
Hi, I'm Phil, Chief Chassis Slinger here at the Roadster Shop.
So now you're admitting that it's possible he was being watched by someone else, much like the Delphi case. Very interesting. Should we go on, Debbie?
The baddest chassis company on the planet.
Even unfolded.
Let me ask my chat lady here. Debbie, should we continue to watch this? Well, we've already been through all this, Elon, but you're thinking, and that's good. Keep an open mind, and you know this, being a rocket man. That it's anything is possible. Anything. Debbie, you want to continue to watch this? Is that? Did you say yes?
Think about it for a moment. When has any major investigation, especially one involving a public assassination, been solved so definitively in such a short time frame? The Kennedy assassination is still being debated decades later, yet somehow this case was supposedly solved before Charlie Kirk's memorial happened. Now, yesterday, a video surfaced that didn't fit the official story. And when I say it didn't fit, I mean it completely shattered the foundation of everything we'd been told. This wasn't just some new grainy cell phone footage from a random bystander. This was a detailed analysis conducted by highly trained military personnel, people who understand ballistics, who've seen combat, who know the difference between entry and exit wounds, because they've unfortunately witnessed both. One particular Marine, a friend of Range Day Bro, who'd been shot multiple times in combat.
And I want to let the people out there know that it does not take a military guy or anyone that served in the military or ballistics guy with a degree to know weapons. Entry rooms, exit rooms, you name it, all calibers of weaponry. Some people out there take fancy to that, and they learn. They read books, they watch videos. and they can see for themselves. They put enough time in watching videos on forensic stuff and everything. I know I have. Drove me crazy. So you don't have to be military expert. You don't have to be. I served in the military and did time. Soldier and war and all that. And yeah, but that's just it. You're a soldier, and what our generals tell us is you're not paid to think. You're paid to take orders. That's crazy. All right, let's continue.
Took it upon himself to frame by frame analyze the available footage. What he found was nothing short of explosive. The key detail that changes everything?
Yeah, you're right.
The entry wound
Don't tell
appears to
these
be in the
people
back
that
of Charlie
these kids
Kirk's head,
playing
with
games
the exit
can't
wound in
shoot.
his throat.
They
Let me
can't.
repeat that because it's
It don't take an
crucial
expert
entry in the
to
back,
make that
exit
shot.
in the front. If that's accurate, and multiple experts are now debating this, then it means the story we were told can't be right. Now, I want to be very careful here because we're dealing with someone's family and the grief of real people. This isn't about sensationalism or conspiracy theories for entertainment. This is about truth, and truth matters because it affects all of us. When official narratives don't match physical evidence, we have to ask why. Let me walk you through what these forensic experts are seeing, and I'll try to explain it in terms that make sense without being too graphic. When you look at the video footage,
Debbie, you're right. You're right. Did you see the video I sent you the other day of the guy that hooked his remote control car up to his car simulator that he had in his house? And he was actually to sit. He actually sat in his simulator as his remote control car flew around the neighborhood. And he said it was like driving a real car. It was unbelievable. And I've been doing a lot of research with Japan and China and the simulators that they have where they actually can set it up in their house and actually fly drones, planes, and drive cars like it was real. I mean, it's unbelievable. The price on it is unreal. But can it be done? Yes, yes. You could be sitting in your house and fighting a war for our beloved government, our country. All remote control, no humans. Lives are in danger. All remote control robots. And whoever wins the war. And life goes on. Nobody died. That's my idea. All right, let's continue.
and I want to warn you, this is disturbing content we're discussing. You can observe several things that experienced military personnel recognize immediately. First, there's a blood pattern. According to the analysis, you can see what appears to be blood splatter coming from the back of Kirk's head, not the front. This matters because blood spatter tells a story about direction and impact. If someone is shot from the front, the blood pattern looks different than if they're shot from behind. It's basic physics. Really, the force pushes material in the direction it's.
If you're a content creator, then you need to be using Motion Ray for your videos. My name is Tyler Everts, a filmmaker and YouTube creator where I share my experience and industry knowledge with
traveling. Second, there's what's called the head snap. This is exactly what it sounds like, the way someone's head moves when impacted by a bullet. According to the experts analyzing this footage, Kirk's head movement is consistent with being struck from behind, not from the front. The head jerks forward, which is what you'd expect from a rear impact. Third, and this is perhaps the most telling detail, there's something called a spinal reaction. When someone suffers a spinal injury, particularly to the upper spine or neck area, there's a very specific way the body responds. The person tenses up in a particular manner, and then there's often a collapse. Multiple veterans who've seen combat injuries are saying Kirk's physical response in the video matches this type of spinal trauma, which.
Aha. So, The cases come 360 back around where some of us didn't believe. Oh, dang it, Debbie! I had another hummingbird. We just missed it. What was I going to say? We're at the beginning of this case when we reported it. We were looking at certain things, possibly a front shot because it looked like he had a vest on and his shirt moving and the ripples in his chest and in his stomach and all the material moving around. Did appear like maybe body armor or a deflection off of body armor. Yes, that's true. I even looked at that footage, and yes, that's what it looks like. Right, but the problem is everything's going upwards when in reality, if it was a high shot trajectory, we should be seeing that movement continue on downward towards his stomach and legs and everything. But we're not. We're seeing everything go upward. So maybe that video was AI, possibly. Maybe it was the concussion of being hit in the back, in the neck, and it jolted him. And with the slow motion cameras and everything they have, it looked like he had a vest on. That's possible. I seen the video. I agree with them guys. But then if you look at other videos, and if you slow it down, you see a lot of stuff going on that don't look upper or, a trajectory from up above. It does, but not from that way. So, we looked into other things, camera guns, palm guns, pen guns, microphone guns. These things all exist, cane guns. Look it up on the internet. All the information is there. Watch your Discovery channels. They showed a lot of that on Discovery. So these things are plausible and feasible and possible. Why? Because we know from history that our government and these people have already put out that these weapons are real. Palm guns. Yeah, it's real. Could a palm gun be put in the camera? Yeah, it could. Anything is possible. So, yeah. Now let's continue. No, I didn't get it right. It was other people that got it right. I just stuck with what I believe in. All right, let's continue. I'm just an idiot.
Would be consistent with a shot
All
from
glory
behind
goes to God.
traveling downward through the neck area. Now, once you accept that possibility, a cascade of new questions emerges, doesn't it? If Charlie Kirk was shot from behind, then where was the shooter positioned? The official story places Tyler Robinson in a completely different location, a position that wouldn't allow for a rear shot. So either the forensic analysis is wrong, which multiple independent experts are now saying it isn't, or we're dealing with something much more complex than a lone gunman scenario. And that's where things get really scary. Hours of photographic analysis by investigators, not government investigators, but independent researchers, have uncovered something remarkable. In the background of several photos taken at the scene, there appears to be a figure concealed in nearby vegetation. At first glance, it looks like just bushes or landscaping. But when you examine it closely, enhance the image, and look at the color tones and shapes, a very different picture emerges.
Very interesting.
This blurred figure shows what appears to be human skin tone in an area where you'd expect to see someone's face.
Now, I want to say this is very plausible because I also pulled up Google Map of the university, and if you look at, they have all these giant flower pots around with plants in them all over the campus and trees. So is this plausible? A ghillie suit? No, ghillie suit. Very plausible. I know it's crazy. It could be camo. a guy dressed in camouflage standing in front of that tree. You wouldn't even see him, or that bush on the roof. You'd barely see him. So yes, it's possible. Chupacabra, Debbie says. I don't know. I think Ray's getting a little crazy, but anything is possible with the new video out on YouTube of the Chupacabra. So it is possible. I'm not gonna, but it's a little crazy out there, don't you think, Ray? Ghillie suit. It looks like the swamp guy. No, that looks like a ghillie suit, which I showed the other day on my channel. A couple days ago, I think it was. Or yeah, you wouldn't even know the guy was standing there. All right, let's continue with Elon.
There's a shape that's remarkably consistent with a rifle, specifically what looks like the cross pattern of an AR-15 with an optic mounted on it. And perhaps most importantly, the positioning of this figure aligns perfectly with the trajectory that would create the wound pattern the forensic experts are describing. Think about this for a moment. We're not talking about wild speculation here. We're talking about multiple independent analyses conducted by people with military training, all pointing to the same conclusion. Charlie Kirk was likely shot from behind by someone positioned in concealment. Not
Your whole day rides on your diesel truck. Don't let anything slow it down.
from the front by Tyler.
All right, so Mr. Elon Musk, where does that leave us? That leaves us with a coup, a conspiracy. It's possible Tyler was innocent. It's possible. I'm not going to say it's not possible. He was just a fall guy. Someone was watching his account and knew he was going to be there. And they went ahead and, made sure the job got done, but he would take the blame. Very possible.
Now, if a shooter was concealed nearby, then who was the man they arrested? And why was his arrest and prosecution moved forward so quickly when the physical evidence apparently doesn't support the government's version of events? This brings us to Tyler Robinson himself and the problems with the official case. The government's entire prosecution rests on the idea that Robinson was positioned in a specific location with a clear line of sight to Kirk and that he fired the fatal shot from that position. But if the forensic evidence shows the shot came from behind, from a completely different angle, then Robinson couldn't have been the shooter, at least not the only shooter. Let's think about this logically. Robinson was supposedly on a rooftop or elevated position in front of Kirk. The ballistics and wound patterns suggest a shooter positioned behind and to the side of Kirk. These are two completely different scenarios. They can't both be true simultaneously. Moreover, and this is something that should concern every American regardless of political affiliation, there are serious questions about the evidence being used to prosecute Robinson. Some investigators are suggesting that key pieces of evidence, particularly text messages that supposedly show Robinson planning the attack, might have been fabricated or recreated after the fact. Now, I can't prove that, and I want to be clear about what we know versus what we're speculating about. But when you have forensic evidence that contradicts the prosecution's theory and questions about the authenticity of supporting evidence, you have to wonder if we're watching a miscarriage of justice unfold. And if Tyler Robinson wasn't the shooter, then maybe he was something else entirely. Maybe he was exactly what some investigators are now suggesting, a patsy, a fall guy, someone who was supposed.
Aha. Much as we seen in the Delphi case. Right? Someone else that was watching that account or using a similar account, same name and everything. So it's very possible that Tyler Robinson didn't even know his account was being used. And that's possible. But there's rumors going around that someone underground is paying $1 million to the family for Tyler to turn himself in. Ooh. Well, now you're being paid to take the fall.
To take the blame while the real perpetrators escape justice. This is where the theory shifts from simple tragedy to coordinated conspiracy. And I know that word conspiracy makes a lot of people uncomfortable, but sometimes conspiracies are real. Sometimes powerful people do coordinate to achieve specific outcomes, even when those outcomes involve tragic loss of life. The evidence suggests we might be dealing with multiple distractions and diversions. There were people in the crowd claiming to have been the shooter. There were figures spotted on rooftops. There was immediate chaos and confusion that made it difficult for witnesses to track what was really happening. This isn't accidental. This is the hallmark of a sophisticated operation designed to confuse witnesses and protect the actual perpetrator. When you have multiple decoys, multiple distractions, and a prepackaged narrative ready to go within hours, you're not looking at a lone wolf attack. You're looking at something that was planned, coordinated, and executed by people with resources and expertise. But here's where it gets even more complex, and where we need to start asking the bigger questions. This isn't just about who killed Charlie Kirk, as important as that question island. This is about who benefits from his death, and more importantly, who benefits from the way American society has reacted to his death. I've seen a lot of theories floating around about foreign governments, about specific international actors who might have wanted Kirk silenced because of his political positions. Some of these theories.
Now there you go, folks. Is the case over? I don't know. What is it?